Hello everyone, in this video I'm doing a review of the Bettermaker Mastering Limiter 2.0, which I've been using here in the studio for about a year, not surprisingly mostly for mastering. So I will start looking at the physical unit and then we'll look at a live mastering project so that you can hear how it sounds as I run through different settings in the limiter, including the clipper, the color module, so you get a sense of how this sounds in a real-life project. So we can start by looking at the actual unit itself, and it's got fantastic build quality. So that's the first thing that I've got to say is in terms of how the unit actually looks and functions, it's really top of the line. But there's also software integration with a plugin, which you can see here, right? So any changes I make in the plugin simultaneously appear here on the hardware unit, which means there's also perfect recall. Now, these knobs are great input, output, and the P1 and P2 can map to different parameters. So currently P1 is mapped to the percentage that is limiting versus clipping. And you can cycle through different analyzers, or if I want to, for example, look at the clipper and set that up with saturation, or move from hard clip, soft clip. You could use the limiter just physically like this, which can be really nice to feel what you're doing by turning a knob, or to see different aspects of the analog. Now let's listen what this mastering limiter sounds like on a mastering project. What I'll do is I'll run through different settings and I won't speak. I'll just add some text so that you can, I can share my thoughts with you. But you should be able to hear what I'm doing as I make the different changes in the limiter.
Is reported to have said that a meditator loses all his questions. A moment comes when there are no questions left, and that is the moment when you attain to wisdom. experience.
So, I hope that you could hear what was happening with the sound as I changed the parameters on the limiter. I think one thing for me to point out is that I use the Bettermaker limiter as the last analog stage before the analog-digital conversion, but I still use a software limiter after that, because I find that not using a software limiter afterwards, there's only so much loudness that I can create with the Bettermaker limiter on its own, because when I really push it, at some point the analog-digital converter is going to start clipping. And I don't really use it just for the loudness. I could probably achieve the same loudness with just a software limiter, but I find that the Bettermaker limiter has a sound of its own. Perhaps you could hear that as I engage it and disengage it. That is not only about the loudness, but there's a certain warmth and stereo field, and I do like the clipper on there. But the one thing about the clipper that's really tricky is that there's no real meter that shows you how much you're clipping. So it's something that you have to kind of have a feel for. So that's the one thing that is the most problematic about this limiter, is the lack of metering for the clipper. So I'm left to guess how much I'm actually clipping the signal. And that's something that I would hope Bettermaker would address in a software update. Overall, I'm really satisfied with the unit, and feel free to leave me any questions or comments below, and subscribe to the channel if you like these types of videos. So take care everyone, and see you around.